At this. Hi, Matt. How you doing? It's bedtime. Okay. Well, we'll try and get on to this right off the bat. So a little information. It's 28 degrees and cloudy with a high of 31 today in Cebu, 70% humidity. The Canadian dollar is now trading at 41.43 pesos and the US dollar at 56.02 pesos. So I don't know if you guys got any subjects you'd like me to discuss, but there's a couple of things that I put forward if nobody's got anything else. And the major one is that in the news, you've got some guys who are going to be landing in some of the states' extra guards because they're afraid of a cellular phone breakdown during the eclipse that's coming. But I think it's bigger than that. I think what we've got is they say that there's a solar flare, the AR-3590 now, which had flipped over to the other side of the sun, and now it's coming back, and it could bring on a geomagnetic storm. If you lived in Canada, you'll see the solar northern lights have been quite active this year, and that's an indication the sun is about to flip. And if it does, or when it does, it could bring on another Carrington incident. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that we're likely to see an EMP from a solar flare? We got here Expat Ian. Hi, Expat Ian. I just popped up. Okay, good. Yeah. This is new for me. I do it just on my phone, so not my laptop. So yeah, I hit over 500 subscribers, so I figured it might be a good time to just check in with you guys, because although I changed the title to the Phil Cartmel Experience, it's really about you guys. I try to provide something novel, unique, and relevant outside of all the other gossips that are here. So yeah, there's basically two elements I wanted to discuss. Was this whole possibility of an internet shutdown with the flip of the sun, and the other subs are going down. Yeah, mine went down a little bit too. You do when something. I think what happens is when something really controversial kicks up, a whole bunch of them pile on, and then the enthusiasm wanes, and you'll get your real members that'll join you. I wouldn't worry about it. You're doing great. You were ahead of me for a while, so anyway, yeah. So, what do you think about licensing? Is it something we should bring in? Oh, who we got here now? Uncle Jesse. Hey, Uncle Jesse. Could you blow off the atmosphere? Could just get a sunburn. Yeah, I guess you could. There's a little bit of cloud, but I don't have the melatonin to handle it. That's more my wife's domain. Yeah, what is it with about Filipinos wanting to be white? It's just a misery for the rest of us. So yeah, I don't know what have you got here. Jesse did well. Yeah, well, yeah, I pumped out like 600 videos now. There's lots to choose from, but do you republish them if they've gone stale? I mean, there's some of the topics like 3-4 months old, and it seems to quieten down, but they're there in the library. Yeah, Uncle Jesse does try. Yeah. So, yeah, I just come from a background of property management where licensing was required before you could represent anything or anyone, and same with real estate. And I see all the slander that's going around, one blogger after the other. I'm no stranger to it. If you've been watching my stuff, you'll know that's true. But maybe it's time the Philippine government stepped in and said, you know what? If you're going to represent our country, we want a part of the take, and we want to watch what you say. And how do you feel about that? In Canada, we have the CRTC, the Canadian Radio and Television Commission, that monitors all media. And they've really squashed down on freedom of speech. I don't think I want to go there, but I think that if you've got to pay an immigration fee to stay here, shouldn't you have to be paying something as some sort of guarantee if you spout off your mouth and start telling lies? I mean, there was a guy out there called the Philippine Truth. He's not around anymore, simply because he's just spewing venom on the Philippines. And I guess enough people told him to take a hike. So what do you think about that, guys? Jesse had a fire? I didn't know about that. I know that Phil up in Angeles, his wife was robbed at knife point, and the old Kano, he had somebody do a B&E into his complex, despite it being a compound. Yeah, some guy was walking around on his ground floor with his son's school bag on his back, casing the joint, and I guess they chased him out. He ran off. But I guess the guy in Cebu that got shot takes the cake, eh? Oh, Fields. Yeah. We actually had the power out last night because we had a fire by the church up the hill, and the power was off for an hour. But yeah, it's been kind of dry lately. They must be pretty nervous up in Negros because the farmers, there's like 2,000 farmers that are affected by this drought. It's been pretty dry, but it's supposed to be the dry season anyway, right? Till what, March, April? So you got to kind of expect it. Yeah, they do that in Thailand. The fires in the fields. That's why in Chiang Rai, those of us who could afford it, not the locals, would take off down to Udon Thani, closer to the Lao and Cambodia border, where there wasn't so much smoke. Yeah, permission. Well, do you have to pay a fee to, you do in Canada, if you're going to set a fire, you go down and register at the fire department, pay a fee, and I think it's not allowed to be more than 1 square meter or something like that, unless you get a special agricultural burn, and then that's a different case. But yeah, it's a different country, different rules. Like, oh, I'm flipping in and out. Can you guys hear me okay? Popped in and out. The internet's been kind of sporadic. It was all shut down, the whole neighborhood. They just put in a new hydro line, and I think it blew out the whole Skylink connections. So we got what? Skylink, Globe, PLDT, and what else around here? Oh, I've forgotten the other one. But they pretty well handle the market. I hear the Philippine government wants to get foreign players involved in the internet service providers. So what do you guys think about licensing for bloggers? Would that help stop some people spewing off their venom? I mean, I'm not going to mention any names. You already all know who they are. I think there's a lot of sick people out there. The other thing too about mental illness here in the Philippines, you know, there's 4,500 beds in one hospital and 500 in another. A total of 5,000 beds in the whole country for people with psychiatric issues. So when you get some guy who's been through a war zone with PTSD, who's bitter about his ex, comes to the Philippines and he wants to paint a red strip through town, there's a lot of crazies going around. So you got to watch out for that. Yeah. So is she talking to you today, Ian? Yeah, I've been through the Tampo thing too, more than once, and there's just no reasoning. How many times in the history of calm down has it actually worked? Anyway, another thing too I want to point out is that my channel bears my name. It's Philip Cartmel. I don't hide behind some acronym or thing like that. Still not talking. Oh, too bad. Well, you know what? Sometimes I wish I could have imported some of that into Canada with my ex. She never would shut up. So count your blessings, enjoy your peace. And when she comes around, when she's ready, she'll be ready. But hold your ground. Pick the corn, the harvester missed, and they set the field on fire to make it easier to find. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Just burn it all off because the corn's gonna. Yeah, it might end up with popcorn. Anyway, yeah. So it's the corn, not the rice, but it's plenty dry. I remember in Thailand, one of the kids, Apache, him and his brother, we used to call him Demolition 1, Demolition 2. He was playing with a broom in the fire, and the broom, of course, caught fire, and he freaked out and he threw it away, and it landed on the roof of the school. So the next year, I spent rebuilding the school for the Aka up there in Chiang Rai. Yeah, it was a fun time, interesting time. So, well, that's you, Uncle Jesse. Was your house burned at all? Or just smoke? It's not good if you're a senior with some lung condition, you know, or a heart issue to be breathing in all that smoke. But still, I'll take Philippines over Beijing any day of the week. Somebody told me the stat on Beijing was that there's 4,000 people that die every month in the area around there of lung-related issues. So, long live the Philippines. Another thing I wanted to talk about too, if possible, how does this work with moderators? Because I'd be interested in finding a moderator who's on the same wavelength as me. Maybe it would help sort through some of the stuff. But I think as long as we're all civil, are they necessary? I don't know. I mean, I know some guys who are moderators from other channels. I would never want to have them as anywhere near my channel, and they don't come around, thank goodness. But another thing that comes up too frequently is the people's sensitivity about Americans being referenced to. I mean, guys, when you have the biggest empire on the planet in recorded history, with great power comes great responsibility. Of course, people are going to lob some rocks your way. You know, I mean, you're tough. You can take it. What we got here? Just the cornfield. Okay, good. Yeah. You probably do that every year, right? You know what you should do is maybe schedule with the farmers when they're going to burn and take a side trip. Come and visit us, Jesse. We'll be renovating this year. We did the drawings. I have it on another channel. What's it called? The Phil's Finest Philippine Fables. And yeah, we're just starting up that one, just to separate all the construction stuff for those who are interested. Not everybody wants to see that. But I'd like to know what you guys want me to talk about. I mean, you know, I'm not going to go into budgets or stuff like that. John. Oh, expat John? I asked him to come on board, but he said that we don't need to give each other ammunition. So I kind of, I'm a little upset with the man in the ivory tower, as we know him. I mean, I guess I'm a bit like Donald Trump. I like giving little names like Section 8 Nate or Click Mick or Laurel and Heidi. Anyway, yeah, I was going to do a video about internet clowns and put them all on it, but I thought, you know what? Yeah, just sinking down their level. Even mentioning it now is kind of low on me. I should just shut up on that, but and focus on other things. And that's why I'm coming to you for some input. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the internet's down his way too, but hopefully it comes on board. But yeah, I don't think John's he's a gentle soul, you know, 74 years old and got a couple of hearing aids, and these pariahs pile on top of him, just rip them apart. Oh, don't worry about Mick. Click, click, Mick. I ripped him a new asshole. It took me about 5 minutes to do it. He spent the next 6 days in his basement pumping out videos all on me. And yeah, I wish Andy Omar would call up one of my kids and have them talk about me. He's done that to Tim K's son, and now he's done it to Stephen Briggs' stepdaughter. Who's next? Anyway, I got nothing to hide. Well, you know what? If you don't really have, people make they have the misnomer that somehow Click Nick is intelligent. No, he just gets a bunch of stats, piles them together, writes them down, hides in his basement, and does a bunch of editing. Like he went off on Dexter, and claiming he's not really handicapped because he only had cancer twice. You don't count that as handicapped. Totally missed the point that before the cancer ever came on board, poor Dexter suffered an electrical explosion, and Monty knows what that's about. So it rips apart your body physically. So he comes on half cocked like he's an expert all the time, and it reminds me of one of my kids. And actually, most of them remind me of my kids. They're all young enough to be. Which reminds me, what the heck are they doing in the Philippines? Go back to America, work like the rest of it did, and they'll collect a pension. Yeah, well, what they say, great men, that's us. We talk about ideas. The middle class just talk about things and stuff. And the rabble, they talk about each other. So, yeah. But if it's a source of amusement, I don't eat popcorn. I like ice cream, so I guess I won't be part of that crowd. But you can kind of see there's an interweaving between them all. They all refer to each other. It's like a witch's coven going round and around. So, it'll pass in time. And the soya man's coming by, calling out for his soya sales. What else we got here? Just gave me a first like, hey, to go, Expedian, you're number one. Well, you're my buddy, right? Yeah. I guess maybe I relate a lot more to the Brits. My father's family came from, here we go. We're back on. Yeah, I was saying I relate a lot to the Brits because my family came from Liverpool, the Lakes District, and my mother's family came from Dorset. I'm named after Commander P.F. Cole of the British Navy. So there you go. Lots of roots in England. And Dad always pointed out that we're United Empire loyalists. You'll get that in my videos. You'll see that. Yeah, it's like World Zoom. Poor old Paul. Yeah, he kept it secret for a while that he was back at his mom's place, but he's back in the Philippines now. I like the fact that he's getting rehabilitated and he's finding another career other than stealing from his hospital patients. But anyway. And then what else we got for topics? Toxic bloggers, we covered that. E-begging. Yeah, I guess my content's a little different. I'm retired, but also with 2 minor children, 7 and 10, so different focus. Yeah, what do they say? Better be a has-been than a never was. And maybe a never was is just another wannabe that never realized it. I mean, I started traveling the world when I was 19 years old. Actually, before that, across Canada. But yeah, I kind of broke loose when I went to India and Nepal and Kashmir when I was 19. And it changes your worldview. Absolutely. I mean, you were in China for quite a while, right? I mean, how many years was it? 10, 12 years? That's got to affect you. I mean, you should. I'd love to hear more if you could provide content on your time in China. I mean, I posted some old stuff from Myanmar and Thailand, so maybe you can do some of that. Am I still online here? Says I am. I got 3 likes and 4 viewers. Well, this is my 3rd attempt at this. The first time when I went on, tried, YouTube told me, no, you don't qualify. You're not ready. You're not set up. So threw that one out. And yesterday I tried again just spontaneously because they said I should try it. And I didn't have any, I couldn't read any of your messages. I didn't realize that. So I'm still learning. Shanghai for 12 years. Yeah, I met the president of the Bank of Shanghai. He lived in my building in Vancouver. He told me how racist they were there because he came, I guess, from up north. They didn't like the Han. I'm loading. Good prep for the Philippines, LOL. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because yeah, there's a different attitude. The Chinese, it's all about hypergamy, right? Like they trade up for a better husband and think never worry about my wife. Time around, who was of ill repute, tried to rescue her, and it never happened. In fact, she dragged me down, so that was no use, no loyalty at all. So that's what makes you appreciate it so much more when you come to the Philippines. But a lot of guys have been burned so badly; they're so reticent to ever try it again. We all swore off it. I mean, I was single for 2 years when I walked away from the nonsense. Uh, yeah. Has anybody been to Cambodia or Laos or Thailand? How does that compare? Maybe some input on that. Whether yours was different from mine, your experience. I remember in Thailand, just I would go out in Bangkok and you could see the girls there on the streets, and I would sit down and interview them. Some of them wanted to rush off to the hotel, but I ended up interviewing them, asking what they wanted to do, and it was kind of a weird form of social development because I did put one woman through a midwifery school, and then I sent another girl back to accounting school, try to better their lives. But Thailand doesn't need our help really. It's a strong nation. It's got the infrastructure. It's got the stability and strength to deal with it. But anyway, Off the Cliff Adventures with James. How are you, James? What are you doing today? Where are you? I'm sitting here in Talimban in Cebu. So for those who don't know, we're in a complex, about 140 condominiums, different styles, and we got a 3-bedroom condo here. I paid 3.7 million pesos for it about 7-8 years ago when our second child was born. Halifax. Okay. Hey, yeah, it's still chilly out there, eh? Yeah. Now you'll get the eclipse, I guess, coming your way. Eh? It's coming through New York, just south of you a bit. So don't look at the sun. Get a good welder's mask or some glasses for that. Yeah, Matt, it's your bedtime. My brother's really in Bangkok along with his family, so went to visit them. Didn't like it much. Yeah, I guess Bangkok. They call themselves a land of smiles, but that seems to be about as far as it goes. I mean, if you're lost and you want directions, they're happy to provide it for you and that kind of thing. But they don't speak English, right? So, Saudi ka, Saudi ka. Yeah. 225, 22. Oh yeah, right. You're on the another time zone. That's right too. Yeah. So, do you have any winter storms this year in Halifax? I got a place up for sale in New Brunswick if anybody's interested. Um, we got an offer on it, but they don't complete until they can sell their own place. So what else is happening? Well, if you just tuned in, I was talking about this possibility of another Carrington event. If you can look that one up. Yeah. The thing is, I got to give you guys some homework. I think, I'm thankful that I'm retired because it's like I go back. It's like being in school full time. I can play on Google and just Google this and Google that. It's like being in school full time. I learned so much, and I learned a lot from you guys. Skidooing's good. You got any popcorn snow for that? Yeah. For those who don't know, in the spring when there's a melt and the snow remelts, it quite often goes through like a texture of popcorn, and it rolls over itself, and it makes it really slippery and sometimes slushy. And it can be. Yeah, we're flipping in and out here. I got to apologize for the connection, guys, because we had a fire last night in the church that set the power off, and then They just put up some new power lines that shut down the whole internet here about 2 days ago. So they just got it reconnected. Yeah. So the big melt. I see the cherry trees are in Washington. Yeah. So it's time to go take your trip. So what else have we got here? A mission statement. I need a mission statement. What do you think about that? California. Hey, Phil. Another Phil. Yeah. Oh. Expat Ian, your connection's bad. 9-line, a 10-line to include Taiwan. I think what they're doing is Taiwan, and they're just pushing the South China Sea as a chip in a game that they're willing to trade off at some later point. Although I heard that they made some aggressive action in the Gulf of Tonkin. I guess they want Vietnam to spank their butts again. Yeah, they invaded in 1976, and the Vietnamese handed their butts on a plate. So, and China's made a lot of enemies. I'm sure you know that. I mean, when they took over Tibet, not with love, and the Uyghurs got an issue with them, and but it's not really China even, it's the Han. The Han control the country, and they control Taiwan too. There's hundreds of thousands of migrants that go back and forth across to the mainland that work in mainland China, but you don't hear about that in American news. Yeah. How's California? Eh? Phil, is your governor going to run for the Democratic Party? I think they did a real quick job cleaning up when President Xi visited from China. Anyway, yeah, politics. Let's just stay away from that. So, what do you think about the topics I'm covering? Are they relevant? Are they interesting? I checked the stats. 88% of you are guys. Most of you are older than 45. F1 fans here. Yeah. No, it's Liverpool all the way. That's where my ancestry comes from. So, football. Now we're back on again, off again. Yeah, football is probably the only real team sport I enjoyed. Hockey was okay, but hockey's a tough game for those who don't know it. It's like playing football with a much smaller, harder object to control at the end of a stick to launch it, and you're traveling at 45 miles an hour headlong into the boards. Oh, yeah? Australia. Oh, well, be sure you let know old Freaky Street Patrol. Apparently he's an Aussie. Did you see that video that Red Zone Mindanao offered to set him up with an appointment to meet Jesus? I tell you, these guys, they just don't stop pushing. Anyway. So yeah, I need a mission statement. I'm going around saying that we try to provide something that's novel, unique, and relevant. Is it? I don't know. You guys, fill me in. I really appreciate your input, and it does direct me to some stuff. The other thing too is a lot of these topics they cover are so subjective. Your relationship with your Filipina, the budget you live in, where you decide to live, province or city. These are all subjective decisions. I just tell people, come up for a couple of weeks, get a taste of it, see if you like it or not. And I mean, there's 7,000 islands. You can pick one. Well, actually 2,000 that are inhabited. Unless you want a desert island, you'd probably find yourself a desert island in the Philippines quite easily. So, yeah, I'm retired with 2 kids. So they're off to school during the day, and I'm getting ready to transfer over to the other condo during the course of construction. We had a test drill. We had a test drill for the soil conditions to see how tall we can build and how big a base we got to get. So that'll be on the other channel. And yeah, I made an observation that sort of came out when I was on another channel as a guest. And when they started expressing such deep concern over me and my dark humor, I'm sorry, but for you, not me, that you don't get a laugh out of. I mean, Ricky Gervais and Dave Chappelle, and I mean, these guys aren't afraid to. They're old school. You cross the line, you know. If you're offended, well, that's your problem. Um, I gotta be me. So I need some help, guys. I need to know what you feel in terms of accountability, moderators, and what kind of mission statement. You've looked at enough of my videos. You know what I'm putting out there. And if you were to describe this channel, how would you do so? Oh yeah, I did one video where in school I was given a Cougar preference test to find out what I really wanted to do in life. Turns out I wanted to do everything. So if you try to do everything, you don't do anything well. So master of all trades, or jack of all trades, master of none. So, and then lately everybody's going around labeling people alpha, beta, sigma, blah, blah, blah. You know, we used to call sigmas questers. They just go through life and saw everything as a project, or move on to the next project, that type of thing. They didn't really give a crap about, where'd you guys all go? We're down to one. Uh-oh. Is it just you and me in? They all ran away. They heard enough of me. Well, we've been at it for half an hour. Maybe we should be light on them. Uncle Jesse. Yeah, we called them punks too. Yeah. So I looked up the term mogging, because there's a guy out there who uses this part of his name. His real name is Nathan, by the way. Yeah, no wonder he calls himself Mogman. But yeah, mogging is basically trying to impress other people how great and wonderful you are, and better than other men, trying to impress them with your size and stature. So yeah, the guy's a joke. But anyway, and then I don't know what's wrong with. Well, no, I do know what's wrong. Mick is a bona fide nutcase. I mean, he tried to relate my joke about pedophilia with his laughing at somebody, a handicapped person. I mean, in his case, it's real life. In my case, it's just a joke. Oh, you're watching F1. Yeah, we call him Frogman. Yeah, no, I call him Section 8 Nate. He was at 88 in armed forces, basically a truck driver. Maybe you ran over one too many IEDs. Who knows? But anyway, he wants to be left alone, so let's leave him alone. I tried to warn him that I did so graphically about the hazards of putting your family out there. I mean, I live in a gated community with armed guards and concertina wire, and I pity the fool that tries to break in here without a sticker on their vehicle. So, yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm protected. I mean, as the old Kano just pointed out, anybody could show up in your home. And that's part of the other video I put out about young men should learn to be tough and strong, prepared for everything, and learn to control their emotions. But clearly there's a bunch of us old farts who can't do that either. Ah, John, you joined us. All right. How you doing, John? We were just talking about you, how you took a rough punch from the what I call them, the Gang of Six. Yeah. So don't worry. I pointed out that our friend Mick. But we're back. Funny you didn't get Andy Omar to dig into my kids. I've got 5 kids. You could probably get one of them to talk something negative about me. Anyway. Oh, thank you, John. That's so kind of you. Well, hopefully we can attract more flies with honey than we can with vinegar, right? You're an army of family, Uncle Jesse. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why they all keep dogs in cages, right? They don't have a doorbell or a burglar alarm. They just have a dog in a cage. So when the noise comes, you know there's somebody there on a motorcycle with your food panda or your grab desserts. Yeah. Hey, do any of you guys have a wife that likes to order stuff online that magically shows up when she's at the store or something like that, and then you end up having to pay for it? Yeah, that seems to be a bit of a bad habit around here. Well, I guess it comes with the territory. Yeah. Norman. Where's Norman? I don't see him. Did I miss him? Or is that somebody's first name? Uncle Jesse, is that you? Is that your real name? Anyway, what else we got going on, guys? It's a nice day here. 70% humidity, 28 degrees, going to 31. I guess we're not going to talk about politics or war, but things relevant to the Philippines. How do we help the Filipinos, enable them to escape poverty versus enable them to just carry on with their lifestyle? Oh, Shopee, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, a little gray package. Guy shows up on a motorbike. Miss Geraldine, Miss Geraldine. She's not here. How much? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try not to. But, you know, there's a reason why Peter Jennings read the news for so many years in the United States. He was the only one who could translate between the Brits and the Yanks. I laughed the other day. One of the bloggers says he speaks American. Yeah, like the Mexicans speak Mexican. You wonder when the last time any one of them picked up a book since high school or what. And the sad part is, the only book that a lot of them have read is the Bible, and nothing since, and nothing else. You know, I mean, there's more to life. But anyway, no, I had a list of functionally proof of illiteracy in today's world. I keep a notepad with me when I'm talking to you guys, and a pen handy. So if you guys do come up with some ideas, I'm going to write them down. So, functionally illiterate. Oh yeah, here's one for you. Hero. Everybody's a hero. I like the term valiant. You know that old song? Oh, valiant hearts, who to their glory came. Yeah, I'm an Anglican. C of E. So, yeah, you know, hero is just such a stick on. Purple Heart versus the Victoria Cross. I mean, I bet one helicopter pilot, actually, he claims to be the guy who was bailing him off the roof in the embassy in Saigon, called himself Junior. He said he got a Purple Heart for a bloody nose in a fight after a real fight. So, yeah, I'll take the Victoria Cross over a Purple Heart any day. And now they use the term narcissist for everything. Basic selfishness, that's all it is. We're all narcissistic. It's just, are we toxically narcissist? Oh, yeah. Then if you're a traditional man, you're a misogynist. Yeah. And then you know, if you think that these guys walking around in dresses are stupid and to expose themselves and publicly being a small minority, you're called a homophobe. Phobe means fear. I'm not afraid of them. I'm afraid for them. You know, last thing I want to be doing is defending some gay fella because he's getting beaten up by a bunch of guys. But that's another issue. Yeah. And a lot of times they say they're offended. But basically, it means they're immature and naive. The last book in my hands was in 2019. alarms on a quick lathe. Only the American do everyone. Three-face comments. Thank you for your service. Very strange. No one else says that. You know, you're spot on with that. Yeah, expatriate. John, my own niece, she wanted me to say thank you for her service because she signed up for the Canadian Armed Forces and then later quit. And I think the only thing she ever did was man some sandbags in a flood situation in Western Canada. You know, compare that with my dad who got shot in Holland after spending 4.5 years in the armed forces. He's at the beginning of the war, he was with the Montreal 25th Aircraft Battery and shot down German bombers over England. And then when D-Day came, he decided to go to Holland and he got shot crossing the Mass River in the leg. A little bit more to the right, and yours truly wouldn't have been here. Anyway. And then the other thing you guys got to remember is if you're not dealing with a bright crowd, things like innuendo, conjecture, sarcasm, hypothetical situations, hyperbole, or any implications, it doesn't work on these morons. Everything's black and white, and they try to flip everything. You know, one guy, what's his name? He uses SpongeBob for his Mike Dowdy. He called me a nerd, thinking that that's an insult. Thank you. Anyway. Oh, yeah. No. I'm American. Every Canadian is American. Just because those Yankees absconded with the name doesn't mean that. And every Venezuelan and every Chilean and every Mexican, we're all Americans. They just stole the name for themselves. No. We used to call them Yankees, but they got offended at that. It was for the northern states like Maine and New York and that. And never trust a Yankee, that kind of thing. Yeah, it was derogatory. And, I mean, everybody deserves to be treated with respect. I think maybe your terms of reference, sometimes, John, are what you're referring to, because you say you got the smart Americans, but there's some pretty dumb Brits, too. I mean, I'll let you choose them, but, no, it's just tribalism at its worst. Yeah. Canadians, you found a use for us in the First World War at Vimy Ridge, didn't you? That's coming up next week, or not next week, next month. The anniversary of Vimy. What was it? I think 22,000 Canadians died taking that ridge that time when nobody else could. And then the Aussies have got their Gallipoli, where they were just butchered on the beach as well. A lot of good young men died. And a lot of good young Russian men died too. 22 million. Some of them were sent to the front without even a gun. When the guy in front of you is dead, pick up his gun and keep fighting. How crazy is that? Anyway, I come from a military family, so I heard so many stories of war. I put out a couple of videos recently on some of the not so much talked about things in the armed forces. Dumb has no borders, yeah. My dad used to say, there is no race on the planet that has a monopoly on stupidity. It is spread equally amongst us. Oh, my mother would say, never trust a redhead. Carrot top, they got bad tempers. Interesting scientific thing on that was that the redhead people, red complexion, they're a very small portion of the population, but they've got a much lower capacity for heat and pain. So something to take note of. So maybe we shouldn't be picking on Prince Harry so much. Yeah. So, Ian, what are we going to do about subscribers? How do we get our buddies to share? You know, I've put yours, I think, on my Facebook, and John's, I think, at different times. I'm also on LinkedIn. I've got 14,000 followers on LinkedIn. It's a professional site. Having been in the property management industry for so many years, so I guess a lot of people know me, and I keep getting requests to sign on board, but, and am I hiring right now? No, I'm retired. Actually, the only thing I'm hiring are contractors to do this renovation. How's your renovation coming, John? I see the last video you had open ceiling there. It hasn't been finished off. And you're doing your neighborhood too. Some of the construction that's going on there. That's of interest to me. Oh, another one you might want to check out is James at Texas Filipino. Now he's a top drawer guy. He's a positive one in my books as well. He doesn't go around bad mouthing people. He tries to prop people up. So yeah, he's a good guy. And he built his own place out there in Panay, which is north of Iloilo on the island there. And he got a lot of the subdivision on the ocean front, and he's been building that over time. I've been looking for sites too. Yeah, Texas Filipino. Another one is kind of nice, and he's from New York, a nice American fellow. It's Wilma and Greg. They're building the Philippines, and he's got his own set of interests. He's got his own a Doberman dog that he's a puppy right now. He's training, and he's sharing some of his construction experiences. A lot of guys are going solar. Finn Snow, he doesn't need any subscribers. He's well over the top. Now there's a young guy who's working his site and has other interests in developing. I mean, I'm all for a young guy coming here and working and developing a business for the Philippines. But when these young men who are able-bodied can go and work and are sitting around collecting their military pensions, and some of them are not even that because they can afford it or not. They live in their mom's basement and product these videos. You guys all know that. We've all been attacked by them. Yeah, that's funny. When you mentioned my channel, some left. What? Uh-oh, I'm sorry. I'll shut up then. Yeah. Well, you've done a lot of food videos lately, which is interesting. So I don't know a whole lot about Filipino food. I eat whatever she feeds me. We got lechon, my favorite, adobo, and what are those little spring rolls they make? They're delicious. But we go to a Thai restaurant out here near Gaisano Country Mall. Hey, if you're ever staying in Cebu, I did a video on it too, the Montebello Hotel. That's where I first came. It's the only garden hotel in Cebu. So if you don't want beachfront property and a nice garden and swimming pool and all the rest of it, the prices are reasonable. I think it's about 3,500 pesos a night. Your sense of humor, Ian, is why they watch, and good stories. Yeah, true. Ian's got a good sense of humor. I like that one you just did on Temple. That was hilarious. How's it going, Dave? Oh, the wife's got Temple. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah. So, yeah. Anything else? Oh, well, I have to get back in her good books. Yeah. I'm trying to convince my wife to do a one solely on her own, but she's shy. She's only come on camera with me a couple of times in Canada for a bit. We did some there, and the kids are on occasionally. They goofing around. But the weirdest thing is my most popular video when I was a small subscriber or small channel, like only had like maybe 100 subscribers. It is 8,000, close to 9,000 viewers, and that's why people hate Tim K. I mean, sad to say, it's kind of a negative thing, but I'm trying to stay positive and create some positive input. Yeah, blame it on your wife. That's it. That's good. I'm off the hook then, am I? Well, just so you know, John, I reminded your good friend in the ivory tower that maybe he's shouldn't be casting aspersions on other people. Did you notice how during his live stream he said I won't be welcome there anymore? He invited me to his live stream when the whole thing blew up in Dumaguete. Oh yeah, they're all can you come on board? Can you come on board? And then this lunatic attacks me with all kinds of slander, claiming he's got a case. And I said, you know what? If you got something, put up or shut up. And nothing was provided. So, yeah, that's what you're dealing with. Oh, well. So, what's the wife cooking today, Ian? John, I haven't. Does your wife do any cooking videos? What about Jesse? Are you still there? Oh, Dave, yeah. You should do one with Dave and a separate screen it or something like that. I don't know how to edit this stuff. All my stuff is just straight one-shot raw. Might as well all be live streamed because I don't edit anything. Although sometimes I'll redo it if I don't think I've covered it properly. But yeah, what could Dave talk about? How about the noise in the Philippines? That's a favorite one. Yeah. Which is worse? Roosters or dogs? Yeah. Yeah, so true, John. Yeah. IQ, intelligent quotient, the ability to recognize patterns. That's all it is. It's I was tested one time and admonished for not using my brain. I don't claim to be bright by any means, but I do have some superstars in my family. My you might be interested to know this, John. My cousin, Barbara Cartmel. She was a master computer operator and programmer for MI6. Yeah. When my uncle retired, he left Winnipeg and moved back to England. He sold tickets to the ferry from England to France before the tunnel was built. And interesting, when he passed away, my dad went overseas for his funeral. And when he was returning the rental car, the rental office said, "Sir, you left something in the trunk of the car." He said, "I never used the trunk." Well, here it is. And there was an urn with my uncle's ashes in it and a note attached to it. "Uncle Charlie, could you please disperse my dad's ashes in Canada?" And Dad, being a proper man, he went and asked the Quebec government when he got back to Montreal how to deal with this. And they told him, no, you can't dispose of it in anywhere in the province of Quebec. So he ended up having to get on his boat in Lake St. Louis, and I think he dropped it in the St. Lawrence River. You can, huh? Looks like beans on toast today. Beans on toast. You know what? Try this. This is an old family favorite. Cheese and bacon on toast. You can do that even if she's not in the house. You just cook the bacon first, melt the cheese on the toast, and throw the bacon on top. It's delicious. I could eat a whole plate full of those. Yeah. You can get a degree in stupidity. Actually, they got a degree for studying Taylor Swift apparently now. Yeah. Well, I think we all got to realize that people are just stupid. I mean, what does it take to wake them up? How did 6 million Jews just get herded off into trains and butchered in camps? I mean, the smart ones, Einstein and the rest, they got out of town. But a lot of the poor Jewish people were just herded into and butchered. Same thing in Cambodia. I went to the killing fields in Cambodia. I got some pictures of that. Maybe I should post and scare the crap out of people. Maybe I should do a video on that. What do you think? But yeah, when you walk around, they get a little voice thing, a recorder. You walk around, they talk about the killing fields. And then they remind you that if you come across a piece of clothing or a piece of bone, to report it so they can add that to the mix. Yeah. So I keep bending my head down because I want to read your notes. So I'll go through all this later if you have any ideas on what you want to hear about. But then, of course, if it's got a good idea, you're going to keep it for your own channel. I know. I know you are going to do that, aren't you, Ian? Or maybe that guy, Dave. I just asked Dave, that guy, for some ideas. Yeah. Well, you know, someone pointed out to me, who was it? Another blogger, maybe it was one of you guys, said that the subs, they don't want you to appear intelligent. They want to be entertained, and they're far more entertained when you make stupid statements and stuff that they can tear apart. So, you know, maybe that's part of it. I mean, it's funny. If you want to amuse yourself, you know what you do is you go on some of these trolls' own sites. First, you laugh at the low number of subs that they've got compared to how long they've been online, and then you read the comments. Get a life, that kind of stuff. Like the people, they're attacked. The trolls are attacked far worse than we are. So, yeah, and actually, you should thank a troll, because a troll will point out the image issues, the shallow issues that we may want to polish up a little bit. I mean, so one guy, like I said, Mike Dowdy, he just called me a nerd, which I think that was probably the best compliment I've had all month. But another fellow was quite constructive. He said, you know, shave your cheeks and comb your hair back and clean yourself up. But really, you know, we're all like this, right? We're retired. We're not out to impress anybody. If you don't like me, piss off. You know? Anyway, that's the way it goes. What else we got here? We're down to 2. Just you, John, and Ian. That's it. Well, I thought Ken was going to come on. Ken Quinton. He's got a restaurant over in Leyte, and he had a live stream I missed yesterday. But yeah, he was picked on as well by the same crew, you know. So what do you think about licensing for John? What do you think about licensing for YouTubers? Should the Philippine government require a license fee? I don't know, maybe 1,000 pesos a year or something, and give some oversight as to what's being said in the Philippines, and simply block YouTubers that give them substantiated slander. I mean, according to some people, I'm a pedophile and a murderer. Funny, nobody told my 2 ex-wives that, or the 7 kids. Their lives are all in jeopardy. Run for your lives! Run for your lives! No, bunch of morons. Okay. Oh, we got somebody else. Who's here? Or did someone come back? No. Well, it's been an hour, and you've enjoyed me enough. I thank you for dropping by and sharing your thoughts and opinions. And maybe I'll do this again if I ever hit 1,000. And yeah, keep up the good work, Ian and John. I'm a fan, so take care. And I don't know who else is out there watching in the background, but if you could just sign in, say hi before we go, and we'll leave it at that. 6 likes, not bad. Certainly a lot better than my last effort. Okay, we'll pack it in. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. How do I close this thing down? I got to figure all this out. Share plus. I was supposed to comment. I was supposed to write comments. Did you guys notice that? I was supposed to. Live chat. All messages are visible. Hide all chat messages. Top chat. Okay. Take care. See ya. Bye-bye.